Hello there, and welcome to Rajiv Gandhi IAS Academy. And today we'll be discussing our daily news analysis of 9 December. So, moving on, let us get started with the first news. And this is a very sad news that our General CDS Bipin Rawat was killed in a chopper crash in Kunnur district, in Kunnur area of Tamil Nadu. So, going by geography wise, this is Kunnur area of Tamil Nadu, and he was going from Coimbatore to Kannur at Wellington Island. So this accident happened on Kannur itself. So moving on, the thing is, General Rawat was of 63 years old, and he was going from Defence Services Staff College in Wellington, where he was about to deliver a lecture, and he was the country's first CDS. So he is quite a prominent figure in Indian polity or Indian defense. Whenever it comes for defense, General Rawat is a prominent figure, and also he headed the Department of Military Affairs, and he was appointed on the two posts on January 1st of 2020 for a 3-year term, and after completing his Chief of Indian Army. Okay, so moving on about Bipin Rawat, he took over the Chief of Defence Service in January 1st, 2020, and he was the first one to occupy that post, and he ranked above other four-star military officer from Navy, Air Force, and Army, and headed Department of Military Affairs in Defense Ministry. And also he was very a straight-talking kind of person, and he initiated studies to reorganize the army. As we have seen, there are recent developments in army, means introduction of women combat in army, in combat role, and the socio political changes in army. Not socio political changes, means the social aspect of army, the way army is connected with common people. These kind of things were introduced by General Bipin Rawat. And also he was a pioneer in the creation of integrated battle groups, which were like bigger brigades, and but they were sufficient in combat formation on small grounds also. So these were the major contribution of General Bipin Rawat. And about Chief of Defence Staff post, we have to because whenever a major accident happen or major thing happen, UPSC used to ask to around that thing, means he will not, if any question is asked about Bipin Rawat, the direct question will not be asked. Something regarding to Chief of Defence post may be asked. So similarly, moving on, it was recommended by 2001 by a group of ministry that this should be done, and it was based on Kargil Review Committee 1999. So Kargil Review Committee, on the study based of Kargil Review Committee, this group of ministers recommended that a Chief of Defence Staff post should be created, and for this government created integrated defence staff in 2002 itself, and that for the time being that served as the CDS Secretariat, means Chief of Defence Staff Secretariat. For the time being, that served as CDS. Okay, and also Naresh Chandra Committee appointment of recommended the appointment of permanent chairman of Chief of Staff Committee, means this CDS Secretariat, Naresh Chandra Committee told that there should be a permanent chairperson of this committee secretariat also. And similarly, when that was introduced, that move became CDS, and it was also recommended by Lieutenant General DB Shetkar Committee. So these are all the recommendation on which defense staff posts are being made on. And moving on, the role of the CDS, it came under Department of Military Affairs, and it will ensure that training, logistic, and procurement of all the three services of Army, Navy, and Air Force are being done. And also salary and everything will be according to the service chief only. And the CDS will be permanent chief of staff committee, means the chief of staff committee post is also being diverted to CDS. And one unique thing about CDS is that although it's being a part of military, but it will not exercise any military command over three service chiefs. Means it cannot like dismiss or can promote or something like that can do to a service chief of other three branches of army. Okay. And also it also help in capital acquisition of military materials from different departments. And also one unique thing about this post is that this is also a military advisor to nuclear command authority, and that is chaired by prime minister itself. So means what should happen to India's nuclear arsenal, how much India should be producing nuclear weapon, and is India capable enough of signing a particular treaty when it's come to nuclear power. So all these things come under nuclear command authority. So moving on, the service condition is that maximum age should be 65 years, and previously it was 62 years for army chief, and 3 years were added. And as of now, General Bipin Rawat was working on that 3 year. And he will not be eligible to hold any government office after resigning from chief of defense staff. Means once the resignation is there, he cannot join any office of profit. See, I will request you guys to have a look on this term office of profit, because many a times UPSC have asked about this in mains. So office of profit concept should be clear, that what different office are being there in the office of profit. This is a part of polity. So I will definitely urge you guys to have a simple Google search about these kind of things. So he cannot join any office of profit after being resigned from the CDS. So moving on, the responsibility of the CDS is administer all the agencies related to cyber and space. Okay, procurement of defense equipment is also a major part of the responsibility of CDS. And also he assigned inter-service prioritization. Means many a times there are service clash between different department of army. So he have to prioritize that which service should be given higher priority and which service should be given lower priority. And also he should have to evaluate plans for out of area contingency for countries in India's neighborhood. Means if something is happening, something out of area contingency is happening in a neighboring country, or even in the outside country. For example, General Bipin Rawat was very made a very crucial role in evacuating nurses from Yemen. Okay, Kerala nurses from Yemen. So these all part where these all things were part of are a part of CDS, means Chief of Defense Staff. So I hope you guys get it. Means first about General Bipin Rawat we have discussed, then we move on to Chief of Defense Staff, how it came into being, and what are the different roles, and what are the service condition of the Chief of Defense Staff, and what are the responsibility. Now in this question might be asked like on which committee recommendations Chief of the Defense Staff was created. Okay, and similarly what are similar in state PSC itself, it can ask what is the age of Chief of Defense Staff. So we have discussed all these things. And moving on to some geography part or agriculture part. See here what happened, that not for Ken Bitwa link project have been done. So first we have to see where is Ken river and where is Betwa river. So here this is Yamuna river is coming in from Delhi, and these two, Ken and Betwa, are the part of this one is Ken and this one is Betwa river. So these two are a tributary of Yamuna river. So this Ken river is made a tributary at Banda, and this Betwa river made a tributary at Mehbooba or Jhansi, maybe we can say. So these two are this thing, and this link canal should be developed between these two rivers. So government is planning to link these two through this canal. Okay, through this canal government is planning to link these two. And here the unique thing about this Ken River is that Panna Tiger Reserve, which is a very prominent tiger reserve, not just in Madhya Pradesh but in prominent tiger reserve in India. So that came under Ken River. Okay, and similarly there this Kotha Barrage project, which also came under the Betwa River. So these are the geographical aspect of the project. So moving on, the key points of the project. So see, in this why this linking project has been done, it is done for transferring of water from Ken River to Betwa River. Okay, construction of Dodhan Dam should be done and canal linking project should be done. So as we have seen here, the canal linking is here. So in this dam, Dodhan Dam would be created on here. See here, Dodhan Dam would be created, and similarly it will be linked. So see, the Ken River is a surplus water river. Okay, and Betwa River is a drought river. So in this project, from surplus to drought prone rivers, water is being transferred, and not just similar water. It means if water is transferred, it can help in irrigation of 10.62 lakhs hectare of land annually, and also it can help in 62 lakh people water supply. Okay, similarly from that Dodhan Dam, 103 megawatt of hydropower would be created, and similarly in the canal project, 27 megawatt of solar power is being done. See what happened in canals. See, suppose this is a canal and here it is water. So on the top of the canals, many solar panels are being have been set up. So what happened that once the sunlight is coming from the solar panel, it heats up, and also there are some issue when the solar panel heats up. So the water from canal also cools up the solar panel. So this was first done in Gujarat, and now this has been done as a major part of all the linking project, or whenever channel is being done, government pays attention that if they can utilize the solar power through that channel or not, because a huge area will also be created in this channel. So we can use that area also. So 27 megawatt of solar power will be created, and 103 megawatt of hydropower will be created from this project. Okay, and also this will help in water-starved Bundelkhand region. See, this whole region from between this Ken and Betwa and surrounding region, this whole region comes under Bundelkhand, and there's a particular history about this Bundelkhand also, that how this were formed during later Mughals period. Bundel Rajas were there. So if you want to have a 360 holistic view, I will definitely urge you to have a look on the later Mughal period where this Bundelkhand province came into being. And moving on, so the district which came in Bundelkhand are Panna, Tikamgarh, Chhatarpur, Sagar, Damo, Datia, Vidisha, Shivpuri, and Raisen. These are the districts of the Madhya Pradesh, and similarly in Uttar Pradesh they are the district of Banda, Mahoba, Jhansi and Lalitpur. Okay, so these are the districts of the UP, Uttar Pradesh, which came under the Bundelkhand, and those were the districts of Madhya Pradesh which came under Bundelkhand. And also it will help in arresting distress migration from this region. What is distress migration? Means suppose the resources of our land is being utilized and there is no much resources, so population from there used to migrate to bigger cities in terms of jobs or economical opportunity. So this migration is known as distress migration. So this will also help in stopping this distress migration. Moving on, there were some hurdles in the project also. For example, Panna Tiger Reserve, as I have seen here in this diagram, Panna Tiger Reserve is Ken River passes through Panna Tiger Reserve. So there was a chance of submerging of Panna Tiger Reserve, and also there was how water should be distributed between Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh if a dam is created on Madhya Pradesh in that Ken River. So these things are hurdles in project, and the government is trying to rectify these kind of things. And also, for example, the deal has been act has been passed where Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh are how they will share water between their boundaries have been chalked through. And also government is working on how the Panna tiger reserve should be shaped from these kind of things. Okay, moving on. About there's a slight introduction about the Khed Betwa linking project. The thing is, it is the first project under National Perspective Plan for interlinking of river. This is a important term, National Perspective Plan for interlinking of rivers. We will be discussing it in a short. And under this under this project, Ken River will be transferred to Betwa River. Okay, both are the tributaries of River Yamuna. Okay, and I have also already discussed what are the different districts it will cover. Moving on, the river linking project, what this is. Okay, so this is also known as National Perspective Plan, which aims to link Indian rivers by a network of reservoirs and canals. This kind of topics are very crucial in whenever it comes to GS1 distribution of key natural resources, or even in geography. Okay, and we can also link these kind of topics to our GS3 paper when it comes to disaster and disaster management. Means flood is a disaster and drought is a disaster. So this kind of thing can be helped in writing our answer in GS3 also, and also in GS1 we can do that. So the main objective of is to transfer surplus water from floods area to water deficit basin. Okay, so these are the main objective of National River Linking Project. It was prepared by Ministry of Irrigation, okay, back in 1980s. Okay, and it is managed by National Water Development Agency, which come under the Ministry of Jal Shakti. Okay, so these kind of nodal ministries are also asked in prelims. For prelims point of perspective, these kind of facts are very important. Suppose they can ask a question that National River Linking Project is connected to which agency or which ministry. So if we are knowing that, we can answer it. And also the main component is that it is a plan to link 30 rivers and connect 30 rivers and 37 rivers across India. Okay, and similarly that can be divided into two parts. One is Himalayan river development component, that is the Gangetic plain, the rivers which have originated from Himalayas. And the second part is peninsular river development, means the rivers in southern Ghats, okay, the western Ghats and the eastern Ghats. These kind of this project is divided into these two, Himalayan rivers development and peninsular river development. So if we are writing the answer about this kind of thing, we can make a chart about that like this, and we can simply give two arrows like Himalayan and like peninsular. So this kind of charts and figures will definitely improve our answers. So moving on, the third news is about international relations. So Canada joins US, UK and allies in boycotting Beijing Winter Olympics. Okay, over human rights concerns. So this is Justin Trudeau and this is Boris Johnson, Canada and UK Prime Ministers. Moving on, so the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is concerned about human rights in China, and he knows that this will add tension to the bilateral relation between them. Okay, because earlier Huawei chief financial officer was detained in Canada, so that already escalated the tension between two countries. And now when they are boycotting Winter Olympics, this will generally escalate attention to a new height. And similarly, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson also says that although diplomatic ties will not be there when it comes to Winter Olympics, but they will a sports person will be sent to Winter Olympics from UK itself. And although they have said that there will be no diplomatic ties and no diplomats will be going to Winter Olympics, only a sports person will be going. And similarly, there's this tussle between Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison and Xi Jinping over the diplomatic channels over human rights abuses, particularly in Xinjiang province of China, and also in Australian imports. Means there was this incident, famous incident in January of 2020, like China put an embargo on the Australian imports of coal, high grade coals. So Australia ships were stranded on Southeast China Sea. Okay, so from there the tension accelerated between Australia and China. Okay, and hence this became a very crucial issue, and now the human rights issue is also there. So when we will see the map of Australia, suppose this is Australia here, pardon my map drawing, and this is China over here. Okay, so see this whole portion of South China Sea. Okay, and there's this Indonesia and all this thing are there. So these Malacca Strait is here. So there is a continuous tussle between China and Australia over this portion of sea. So China want to maintain its supremacy in this South China Sea, and Australia want to maintain its supremacy over this Malacca Strait and everything. So this kind of tussle is already going between China and Australia. So similarly, China has also denied any wrongdoing in Xinjiang and said the allegations are fabricated. Okay, moving on. What are the different moves of human rights, aspect of human rights which are violated in China? So first is China has a ban on activism, like which have harassed activists. Okay, those who have been photographing and filming the Chinese official, they have harassed it. And also China has blocked NGOs which are critical to China's policy, and also China have blacklisted many activists, okay, which are in backed by human rights, but China has backlisted these kind of activists. Also China has put a restriction on freedom, means institutionalized freedom is not there. So means China is not international religious freedom is also not there. Okay, and this report was also raised by US Commission on International Religious Freedom, that the religious freedom in China is being depressed. So similarly, the diversity quotient of China is almost visible, because the Communist Party kind of maintained a uniformity in its aspect. So diversity is not much taken care in China. And similarly, there is a harsh censorship in China. Okay, so means tech companies were being removed in China. For example, they have to answer what happening in their private group chats. So tech companies withdraws from China. Okay, so there is also this online censorship is there, and similarly censorship were given to tourists who were going to travel to Tibet. So these kind of censorship China has put on human. And similarly, also China has a very harsh move on migrants also, because they have put measures like if they are capturing any migrant, they are sending them to harsh punishment. So these kind of human rights violation have been done by China. And most prominently, the most prominent human rights violation which is in current affairs, which is done by China, is the case of the Xinjiang province. So what happens in Xinjiang crisis of the human rights? See, this is Xinjiang province of China, and this is in the western China. And so what happened that in Xinjiang, this Uyghurs community are most prominent community in China, which is a Turkish group or Turkish ethnicity, and these are prominently Muslims. So see, what the Uyghurs are predominantly Muslim minority Turkic ethnic group, and their origin can be traced to Central and East Asia, and they are ethnically close to Central Asian nation. But China want to have them like as we have discussed earlier, the diversity in China. China want to uniform the diversity, so they don't want to see any ethnical or religious group within the China. So they are trying to suppress the ethnicity of this Uyghur group. And China recognize this only as a regional minority, means they are not recognizing as an indigenous group. They are saying that they are a regional minority group of Xinjiang province. So these are the issues with the Uyghurs. And largest Uyghur ethnic community lives in China itself, means although they are a part of Central and East Asia and ethnically close to Central Asian nation, they largest community lived in China itself, and they have like their branches in Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Kazakhstan. As we will see the map of Central Asia, the Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan are so close to Xinjiang. So although they share a boundary with them, or ethnically they share their link with them, Uyghurs share their link with them, but majority of the Uyghurs are living in Xinjiang province of China itself, and China is suppressing them, and China are grave human rights violation are being done by China to the Uyghurs. Similarly, moving on, the economy part, here the Monetary Policy Committee of Reserve Bank of India have not changed the repo rate, and it kept it at the 4%. So, what is before discussing this news, we have to know what is repo rate, what is reverse repo rate, and what is consumer price index. These three things we need to know. So, repo rate is the rate at which central bank of a country lends money to its commercial bank. Means this is the suppose this is a central bank, and there are many banks which are monitored and authorized by central bank. So there is this rate of money which central bank gives money to to their associated banks, commercial bank. So this is known as the rate at which the central bank gives money to the associated banks or the commercial bank is known as the repo rate. Means the rate of loan through which commercial bank take loan from the central bank. In simple terms, we can say that this is known as repo rate. And similarly, there is this reverse repo rate, which is done as the rate at which RBI borrows money from commercial bank. Means through different bonds and SLR, CLR, these kind of things which are there in economy. I will definitely urge you all to have a look at the government bonds. What are government bonds? What is SLR? What is CLR? These kind of things are very important when it comes to reverse repo rate and repo rate, or the transaction between the RBI and the commercial banks. These topics are very important. So I will definitely urge you guys to have a Google about these kind of things. And similarly, after repo rate and reverse repo rate, there's this consumer price index. So consumer price index is released by National Statistical Office, okay, and it measures price change from perspective of a retail buyer. Means there are certain commodities like food, medical care, education, electronics. What is the rate of change of these kind of commodities have been done with respect to a benchmark? So this is reflected in our index, which is known as a consumer price index. So moving on the news part. See, as I have discussed, it is the repo rate is unchanged at 4%, and this kind of liberal monetary stance has also boosted the stock market. See, in economy part, the beauty of economy in UBS is that, or in general, is that everything is connected in economy. Means even if the monetary policies are being changed, there we will see its reflection on the stock markets. So when we will be dealing with equity, and when we will be dealing with the linkage of equity with the monetary policy, the fiscal policy, we will come to know that everything in economy is connected to each other. This monetary policy is also linked to fiscal policy. See, monetary policy are the steps which are been you must be wondering that what this monetary policy is. Okay, so there is a different committee, is this monetary policy committee. So monetary policy is similarly the steps done by reserve banks or the central bank of a country to boost the economy. And there is this also fiscal policy, and that is the steps done by government to boost the economy. So there's this difference between monetary policy and the fiscal policy. So moving on, so RBI said that it will not change the 4% repo rate because the private consumption is still below its pre-pandemic level. Means the kind of consumption Indian user used to do before pandemic, India hasn't reached that level is still. So there is this support is warranted for a durable and broad-based economy. So similarly, and also monetary policy committee also retained the reverse repo rate at 3.35%. So these two things are important. Means first, repo rate is maintained at 4%. Second, reverse repo rate is also maintained at the previous 3.35%. And similarly, the GDP is projected at about 9.5% for financial year 2022. So it's a quite rise in the from the previous GDP figures, because India is getting back on track to the pre-pandemic level. So higher growth of 9.5% GDP is being projected by central banks or the RBI. Similarly, the CPI, consumer price inflation, means how the consumer price is rising, is determined to be 5.3% for financial year 2021, and 5% for the first half of next financial year, that is 2021 and 2022. So 5.3 for this year and 5% for next year. And also central bank RBI is also announced a measure to reduce the excess liquidity in the banking system. Means if the liquidity is high in a banking system, or the amount of money is there in the market, if it's high, it may generate to inflation. So these all things RBI have to take control. And it's increasing money absorbing capacity. And by the end of December of this year, RBI has planned to absorb about rupees 7.5 lakh crore by the end of December. So these are the figures which are RBI is planning to absorb from market. And also one particular thing about this monetary policy committee announcement are, this announcement is done for a unified payment interface. Also for UPI based payment, an announcement is also done that for feature phone user, there is a different product they are planning to launch that will enable a small value transaction through an on-device wallet. Means for a small value transaction, the service provider don't have to take permission from RBI. So that will conserve RBI or the commercial bank through which it is linked. So that will conserve bank system resources. Means suppose if a transaction of 1,000 is being done, so the service provider will do it on its own. Means every time they don't have to ask permission from the commercial bank to the which that wallet is linked. So this might generate some security issues, but that will be interesting to see in the coming days how these things are formulated. They have just announced that they are planning to do, say, this is a proposed scheme, so we will have to keep a look on this also. And we can also use these kind of things in our mains answer writing. Suppose if a question is that how to conserve system resources in banks, so we can put these kind of purposes that RBI has proposes in monetary policy committee report, that this kind of thing is done. So that will be very beneficial and reflect a good marks on the examiner. And similarly, a report is being released and a study is being done that the water quality of the Ganga is dipping. So this was done by Integrated Taxonomy and Microbiology Institute Research Group at IISER Kolkata. This was done by that, and Department of Science and Technology Water Technology Initiative has backed that project, and it was published in the journal Environment Research Communication. Okay, so this was the done. And the cost for the increase in toxicity of the river is being said by human pressure and anthropogenic activities. Anthropogenic means those things which are related to humans. So these things are been done due to the toxicity of river Ganga has increased. The pollutants in the river Ganga has increased due to these kind of things. And the two most prominent thing which come under that are untreated municipal and industrial sewage. These two sewage are a major pollutant in river Ganga. This was done in that study which was backed by our Department of Science and Technology. And also there is this WQI. Recently AQI was in very much news, air quality index. Similarly there is this WQI, water quality index. So water quality index tells us the amount of pollutant in a water. So it says that the stretch of rivers, the water quality is between 14 and 52, and above 50 is kind of poor kind of water is being said. That if the WQI of a water sample is above 50, it is treated as a poor water. So similarly, let us see on this table that suppose if the WQI is between 0 to 25, it's excellent water. 26 to 50, it's good water quality. 51 to 75, it's a poor water quality. So in some portion, 51 between up to 52 has been reached. So some portion in some portion of the river Ganga, there is this poor water quality is being noted down by that study. Okay, so that was today for 9th December newspaper analysis, and you can link on us to with on Telegram also, and a detailed analysis of these kind of news will be published on our website also, and all the links will be there on our website. I will drop the link in the description. And also we are running a course on free course on geography, so and every aspect of geography will be discussed in it, and its first video will be uploaded by today itself. So kindly have a look on this channel, please subscribe to it. It is a very beneficial channel if you are trying to prepare for UPSC free of course. Believe me, this is initiative done to so that those students which cannot have the pleasure to go to a coaching institute can also prepare for UPSC at from their home or whatever their choice is. So please subscribe to our Telegram channel also, as well as our YouTube channel. Have a look on our website, and in Telegram channel we will be posting some questions also, and on YouTube we are planning to come with a very diverse kind of topic which are necessary for UPSC. So okay, have a great day. Thank you.